Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode, we're going to do something a little different. This is something I actually stole from Steve from the Steven Larson show that did on his solo YouTube channel, Wrestle Juice. It's an homage. I borrowed it. I thought it was a cool concept. I haven't watched his video. I have it saved to watch after this because I didn't want his opinions to cloud my opinion. I love Steven Larson. I think they have one of the best wrestling YouTube channels. I definitely highly recommend you checking them out. I think their humor, their honestness, their overall goodwill towards wrestling is something I strive to have. I look at them, I look at people like Simon Miller, I look at the Wrestle Talk guys, I look at them as inspiration on what I should do with my channel, and I strive to be as great as they are at times. With that being said, I thought this was a cool concept, so I'm borrowing it. Steve, if you see this, I know I wholesale stole it. I thought it was a good idea, so I'm going to give my spin on it. Hopefully, maybe we'll have some of the same ideas. I don't know. I mean, I seem to agree with a lot of the stuff on your views on wrestling, which is why I go to your channel often, why I listen to your daily podcast, why I watch watch-alongs for pay-per-views with Steven Larson and the Friendos. Anyway, the concept here is who's up next. And what I mean by that is, what wrestler is going to be the next champion in each of the WWE championships? So I've got them down. I didn't include the NXT titles here because there's already 10 championships. This is my opinion on who's going to win the championship next in each championship. Hopefully that makes sense to you. First one, we're going to go with the Speed Championship, which I haven't seen any of the matches. I've seen some little clips and highlights. It's one of those things that when I think about it, I don't look for it. I know it's there. The current champion and first champion is Ricochet. I think they're going to keep this as kind of very much a lower card title, something that, you're not going to see Drew McIntyre challenge for this or Sami Zayn. You're going to see, and I'd like to see wrestlers like a Obafemi or Ivar wrestle in this, because the concept is it's a match in less than 5 minutes. Who better than to get a match in less than 5 minutes than a guy that could just squash you and take you out that way? I digress. Ricochet is the current champion. I think the next champion is going to be Wes Lee. I think that would be a great jumping off point to get him to more of the quote-unquote main roster fans if he beats Ricochet, especially if they show a clip of it on SmackDown or Raw. I think that would help introduce him to a bigger audience than what he has right now on NXT. It also kind of takes him away from that North American Championship picture, which I think Obafemi is going to dominate for a little while at the very least. I think he's absolutely amazing. I think they're both future stars. Obafemi, I mean, there's nothing but money in that guy. That dude is going to be a world champion. So in my opinion, Wes Lee takes the title off of Ricochet. Next up, we have the World Tag Team Championship, currently held by the Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth. And I looked at this, and there's not many actual tag teams on Raw, and chances are this is going to go to a team of thrown together guys. But to me, I think a good place for this to end up is with the Authors of Pain. I think they're grouping with Karrion Kross needs some kind of a spark, needs some wins, in my opinion. And what better way than to have them go out and win the tag championship, maybe have Karrion Kross go after the Intercontinental Championship, but put where this group could actually win a championship, not just be losers all the time. I think this would be a good place. Plus, it gives another up-and-coming young team of babyfaces a good team to beat. I think they're a good landing spot for the titles next. Now, from that tag championship to the tag team championship, and I know it's going to get confusing on some of these, we have A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller, and Austin Theory. And this one, I'm actually going to give you the next two, because I think there's going to be a transitional champion, and I got that on another championship a bit later, spoiler. So I think they're going to transition and then go to a different champion after that rather soon. And you'll see why here in a moment. I think they're going to lose his title to DIY, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano, only for Gargano and Ciampa to lose that right away, maybe within a week or two, less than a month, to the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. And I don't know if that's what they're going to call them here, but that's what they're known as in New Japan. I know that New Japan turned the Gorillas of Destiny into a faction, so maybe they're going to be that here, maybe they're not. I mean, you still have Hikuleo and LP representing in Japan, so I don't know. But the Gorillas of Destiny team, I think, is ultimately going to be the ones to get it. but there's going to be a short run with a face team for them to get that tag championship. Much like I said with the Authors of Pain, the new bloodline needs to get some titles, needs to get some wins, needs to show that they're a serious threat, which they have already. They've looked fantastic in everything they've done, so I think this is a good way to get the belts on. Next up, staying with the tag team championships, the women's tag team championship. This is probably the hardest one to pick here other than the speed match, because who knows how they're going to go. The current champions are Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, and I think they're going to keep the titles for a good long time, ultimately to break up around Royal Rumble time and feud going into WrestleMania, because I think the money is in Bianca versus Jade at WrestleMania. And I could see them losing, and it's to a team that isn't even a team yet, and technically kind of aren't even on television yet, and that's Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. And I think they're going to be part of the rumored Wyatt Six grouping. I think these two could win this somewhere in November, December, around there, start the dissension between Bianca and Jade, have even more come out during the Royal Rumble. Maybe Bianca eliminates Jade, Jade eliminates Bianca, again setting up the match for WrestleMania. But I think these two would be the catalyst of this. Again, much like I said with other factions, if the Wyatt Six is going to be taken seriously, they need to go after some championships. This is a good one to go after. Next up, we have the United States Championship, currently held by Logan Paul. And much like I said earlier with the Tag Team Championship, we're going to have a transitional champion here. I think Logan Paul is going to lose it to AJ Styles. AJ is going to get quote-unquote rewarded for getting himself in great shape, and this is also going to help bounce him back into the main event picture, because I don't think we've seen the last of AJ Styles as a main eventer, as a guy that could challenge for the world championship and maybe even win it. But I think AJ wins this US title here, only to lose it rather shortly to Carmelo Hayes. Much like I said with the DIY to Guerrillas of Destiny thing, I think ultimately getting that belt onto Carmelo Hayes to see how far he could take it and see where he could go with it while keeping him a heel. And I know AJ's a heel too, but he's kind of a heel that everybody's going to cheer for anyway, and maybe that's what facilitates the face turn for him. Ultimately, AJ serves as a bridge between Logan Paul and Melo. That's where I think, and I think Melo should get that championship by the end of the year. Let's see what he can do with it. Let's give him some responsibility, see how far he can take it. Next up, Intercontinental Championship, currently held by Sami Zayn. I think this is pretty obvious. I think everybody in the world sees this one coming. Chad Gable's going to be the one to take it off of Sami Zayn. Unless they absolutely just don't care about what they're going to do with Chad Gable, and they don't want to use this opportunity to push Chad Gable into the forefront, I think this is 100% obvious. I think it's been telegraphed. Even if it's a short run, Gable needs to win this here. You can't have him looking like a goof if you're going to do something more serious with him. Unfortunately, Sami Zayn's the kind of wrestler that he can win and lose a championship a million times and everybody's still going to love him. He's a great wrestler to lose this to someone like Gable, which is why I think it's going to happen. Next up, the Women's World Championship, currently held by Becky Lynch. And I think this one's another one that's somewhat obvious. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do it with the Battle Royal, but I think it gives it more gravitas if she wins it off of Becky, and that's Liv Morgan. I think the definite setup is going to be Liv Morgan winning this and having the built-in feud for whenever Rhea Ripley comes back. I know there's been a lot of teasing and a lot of rumors that maybe Liv steals Dominic away from Rhea while Rhea's on the shelf, and Rhea comes back to Liv Morgan stealing her man, stealing her championship, does the babyface thing. Obviously, whenever it is, she could come back, wins her championship back. I don't know if she wants her man back necessarily, but gets her championship back. So that's my opinion on that. Next up, we're going to stick with the Judgment Day for the World Heavyweight Championship, currently held by Damian Priest. Again, I think this is another somewhat obvious one. I think Drew McIntyre is going to pick this up, get the win, and take that next. I think Damian Priest is going to turn face here rather shortly. Whether Drew wins this at Clash at the Castle, which I'm kind of thinking that Clash at the Castle may end up being Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk for no championship, because it seems maybe CM Punk is ready to come back. He's not wearing the brace anymore. I don't know. The one thing about CM Punk is he keeps everything very close to the vest and things like this, so I don't think we're going to know he's coming back till he's actually back. I could see if Drew doesn't win it at Clash at the Castle, which is going to be a great idea. I don't see him, if he challenges there, he's going to win it. basically, because I don't see them doing it 2 years in a row where he loses. If not, what I think is going to happen is Drew's going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and Drew is going to repay Priest by cashing in on Priest like Priest cashed in on him. That's my opinion of it. Either cash at the Castle or him winning the Money in the Bank and cashing it in on Priest. Next up, the WWE Women's Championship, currently held by Bayley. This one is going to tie into another cash in from a Money in the Bank briefcase. And this one, I think it's kind of obvious, much like I said with Carmelo. We're going to try and build another star here. I think Tiffany Stratton's going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I think Tiffany Stratton's going to cash in on Bayley. Look, you could just look at Tiffany Stratton, and she's got star power written all over her. The crop of women that are either coming to the roster now with her and Lyra Valkyrie, or coming to the roster soon with people like Roxanne Perez, Ariana Grace, Gigi Dolan, all the people that are in NXT that are ready to come up, Fallon Henley, others. You have another push of another generation, because you have the Four Horsewomen generation with Bayley and such, and then you have that next generation that included Bianca and Rhea, and now you're going to have a new wave of women coming up, including Tiffany. I think Tiffany is going to be one of the big stars coming out of this new wave of women, this new crop of women's talent. She's got everything you need to be a big star. She's absolutely stunning. She's good in the ring. She's a good promo. She understands her character. I think she's going to be perfect for that, and I could see her winning this right away. Last but not least, the Undisputed Championship, currently held by, Cody Rhodes. One of my favorite wrestlers personally. I love Cody Rhodes. And I think Cody is going to lose this. It's going to be one of two people, and I think it's going to be to this one, definitely. Throw your ones up. I think he's going to come back and be the secret hand behind the new changes in Bloodline. That's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And I think this is going to be the thing that sets up The Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania, or The Rock versus Cody at WrestleMania. I could see Cody holding this all the way to WrestleMania and then losing it at WrestleMania to The Rock, or maybe losing it around Survivor Series, again to The Rock, and then leading to The Rock versus Roman, depending on how you want to do it, or Rock versus Cody at WrestleMania and Cody taking it back there. But I think we're almost guaranteed that The Rock is going to be at the main event of WrestleMania next year. And with that, if you're going to be in the main event, you got to have this championship, in my opinion. This championship has been elevated to the championship that means the main event, with what Roman Reigns did with it, which is one of the best title reigns of any championship of any time. Definitely in the modern era, it's the best. Cody has kept the ball rolling. He's right there. He looks great with it. He's the star of the show. You have to have big star power. I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is that guy, so I think he's going to be next. With all that being said, let me know what you think. Who do you think are going to win some of these championships? Do you have an idea for the Speed Championship, one of the tag titles, one of the women's championships, the Intercontinental, the U.S. Championship, the World Championship, the Universal Championship, Undisputed Championship? There's so many there. Let me know down in the comments here who you think is up next for one of these championships, or if you want to do them all, let me know what you think about all of them. If you like this video, like, comment, share. If I could get 10 likes on this video, which isn't a whole lot, I should be able to get that, and you guys should be able to do that. Let me know you like this just a little bit, and I'll do this for the AEW championships, which I think there's probably 30 of them. With that, I won't include Ring of Honor, because that will equal 30. But if you like this, I get 10 likes, I'll do the AEW version of this and go through their championships and see who I think will win those next. So smash that like button if you're wanting to see that. With all that being said, my name is George Coles, and you've been watching Heel Heat.